I
stage?
read my first piece off a
You're
piece
off
of
the piece?
paper.
Okay.
And then the guy who was hosting, he was like, "Oh, you guys were talking before she got up there, but that mother voice, you just all shut up."
Hey, I'm about to go to that. I'm about to go to that voice. See, your voice, man, your voice is so soothing. You need to see them books you have. I would love for you to do an audio book with your own voice.
Yes.
Because I'm an audio book man myself. I read too, but when I be at work driving, I got an audio book. So
yeah,
I would love to hear your voice just run it. You know what I'm talking about?
This one has already been the children's book. We've already recorded. I'm getting ready to put that out probably in the next week.
Mm-hmm.
And my memoir is already recorded. 7 of the chapters are out on my podcast. So you can actually listen to the first 7 chapters of my memoir for free on the podcast, the Zen Ase podcast.
And it's on all platforms.
It's on all platforms, right? Yeah. It's on 25 different streaming platforms. It's top 10% globally. So I've got subscribers in about 53 cities, 35 countries.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can actually listen to the first 7 chapters on there. But yeah, people like talk about my voice, and I'm like, okay, well.
How your voice sound to you? Do you realize?
I know that sometimes it can be very seductive and soft, and I know that. Right. But most times I don't even think about it. But then people be like, your voice.
You can narrate anything. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. You could do some voiceover work. I'm trying to tell you.
Like I told you, I just started getting into that. I did 2 commercials in the last year, and they were for small companies in the area. And then, like I said, I got hired to do the show on Friday, the book reading performance. So I'll be doing that. And then I'm getting ready to set up a studio in my house so I can people can be able to hire me to voice over things, and I can do other people's books. So that'll be coming in the next year, and
I kind of want to, I'm still putting together the Love and Portrait documentary, featuring poets and talking to them about how they first fell in love with poetry and met poetry. But I would love for you to narrate that whole DVD. You know what I'm talking about? I'm telling you.
I got you.
For real.
All right.
So now you did a workshop. You did what was it called? For like a vision board workshop we did with you?
It was actually with this. We actually did that. This is when I was first. When you got the book, it did not look like this. Right. It was a blue cover that I did in Canva, and I did the first workshop because I wanted to see how people would receive it. That was an awesome workshop. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I wanted to see how people would receive it, and then people watch the video, and because you started off with poetry, and we kind of got into the mood, and then we started talking about affirmations and meditation and journaling and visualization and all of those different things, and so I really love putting on a workshop. You plan on doing
some more of those workshops?
Yes, and I'm actually not only doing them just like for myself, but I'm getting hired by different groups to come out and do workshops like that. Like I just did a team building workshop for Shape Community Center in Galveston. So we talked about journaling, manifestation, stress relief. I did team building activities for them. So that's.
See, that's that teacher in you. It's just branching off into all these other fields, but you still being a teacher. You know what I'm talking about? Right. And you've been teaching for how long? And you've retired from teaching.
Yes, I just retired.
How long you been teaching? For how long?
I was in the field for 30 years.
30 years?
Yeah, so 2 years at the middle school level, and then I went into Aldine High School for 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
How was that being a teacher? Like,
when I first started, I loved it. I planned on teaching till I was when I first started, I loved it. I was probably going to be one of those teachers that never retired, had to roll me out of there when I was 85 and I couldn't move anymore. But a lot of things changed. Testing was not as big of a focus when I first started, and for me, in my district, I felt like the kids were being treated like products and not like people. And the teachers were being treated as if we were really disposable and we didn't have any say in curriculum, in anything. And so that I felt that I was not doing what I believed in as far as education, because education is supposed to open your mind and help you see possibilities and encourage you and uplift you. I felt like a lot of kids were feeling defeated and overwhelmed and stressed out. And it's like, you know, they got adulthood for that. Let's try to build them up for what they got to face. And I just felt like that's not what we were doing. And so at a certain point I was like, yeah, it's time for me to go, because I don't believe in what I'm doing anymore. I don't believe that I'm doing the right thing, you know, and I feel inauthentic because I'm going to work every day punching the clock, but I don't believe in anything I'm doing.
So they pretty much control the whole curriculum? You can't like just teach what you want to teach, or even structure how you want to structure it?
It's very difficult to branch out of anything, you know, because literally we get a calendar and it tells you day by day what lessons you teach. And the lessons are even broken down into, like, let's say I have 5 activities and I have a 90-minute period. So I actually have so many minutes to really cover each activity. And kids do not work like that. Well, at least the students I work with. I mean, you can't, it might take you 20 minutes to get something done, and it might take another student 5 and another student 30. You know what I mean? So you can't move everybody at the same pace. It's not, you need flexibility. And if, let's say that half the class doesn't get it, we had just a few days that they would give us to go back and review for the whole year. Like, I need more time than that. If they don't get it, I need to slow down. I need to be able to work with them. Well, it was like, they got to come after school. And everybody can't come after school. Some kids work, some kids take care of their, you know, their siblings. So it was kind of put on the kid. If they don't get it, it's their responsibility to come after school. It's their responsibility. It wasn't like there was flexibility in the curriculum. The curriculum had no flexibility from my perspective. So I was just like, to me, that wasn't teaching. To me, that was putting the kids on a conveyor belt and moving it was like Lucy and I Love Lucy with the chocolates. You know, that's how they expected kids to be with learning, like just constantly taking it in, and they weren't given any time to absorb, to discuss, and also like the building of relationships. A lot of times the best lessons come by spontaneity. Something happens, somebody says something, you're able to delve into that, you're able to teach them something. There was really no place for that in the curriculum. It was like somebody says something, you just got to move on. You can't, you know, you can't use that teachable moment. So I just felt like, yeah, this is not for me.
I remember when I was in school, like say in math class, when they taught us how to do division, and they would teach us the formula. And pretty much once you understand the formula, whatever problem they give you, you can do the problem. So I understood the formula, but my mind, I don't want to just, I memorize the formula, but I don't break the formula down. I'm trying to break the formula down. So while everybody else is doing the formula and doing the problems, I'm sitting there trying to break the formula. I want to understand the formula, not memorize it. I want to know why am I carrying the 3. And they wasn't giving me the whys. You know, since I want to know the inner workings of the mathematics. And so so school ain't giving that to you. I guess I got to figure that out on my own. But I think school should break it all down. You know what I'm talking about? Because to me, it just they want you to memorize it. It's like a lot of just memorizing things. But I want to know the inner workings of them things.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times they would say, hey, you know, you need to have this high level work. But that really is high level work, going beyond what you're told to memorize and actually being able to explain.